have the public opinion around what is really happening in our estates. I will start with my speech and we'll follow the programs I think. The press conference held by Magodo GRFS 2 Residents Association, MRA, the division of the estates and threats to its safety and security. We call on Mr. Governor Sanwo-Olu for help to save our souls and properties from insecurity, crime, infrastructure and environmental degradation, prevent access to and from wetlands through Magodo GRFS 2. Gentlemen of the press, the Magodo Residents Association, Board of Trustees, Central Consultative Council, Central Management Council, Executive Committees members and residents here present, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a sense of great trepidation and concern that I, on behalf of the BOT, the CCC, the CMC and the entire residents of Magodo GRFS 2 address this press conference today. Permit me to put on record here that we have over the years and in the recent past made several battles to engage the Lagos State government and other stakeholders on this matter with a view to finding a non-threatening and lasting solution to the issues. But are compelled to once again bring this to the court of public opinion to forestall the breakdown of law and order in the estate and the state, which some people, headed by the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, Dr. Goldmyne, appear to set to ignite reasons best known to them. Magodo GRFS 2 is a low medium density estate by design that until recently have enjoyed relative peace and security. It was the attraction for most residents that elected to live in the estate either as first generation owners or subsequent investors. Only the estate is a stretch of wetlands that run from under the Terminal Bridge to Agility, Mile 12, and to Ikorodu. The wetland, among other ecological benefits, serves as a natural storm collector and flood control container for all stormwater and flash floods from Alausa, Agility, Ikeja, Moba, and so on. It is also a similar floodplain that has shielded Magodo from soil erosion, flooding, and flood-related diseases and disasters over the decades. In addition, land speculators and developers, aided by top officials of Lagos State Physical Planning and Urban Development, have decided on building the wetland and are bent on making an incursion therein through Magodo Phase 2. This we see as an effort to an increase in direct threat to the environment, safety, and security of a community of over 16,000 in population and still counting, who lived peacefully and secure in this domain for more than the past 3 decades. In recent times, the estate has been under assault of the Omo-Onile, who are intent on building the wetlands and forcefully accessing same through Magodo Phase 2. Their recent activities have opened up the estate to the wetlands and consequently exposed itself to secure community to serial vandalization of vehicles, theft, and other criminal activities. To force access to the wetland through Magodo Phase 2 in the proposed urban development scheme will have consequences for the existing of Magodo Phase 2 and our residents. Plans are meant to enhance sustainability living and not to destroy. Magodo Phase 2 is a pride of Lagos, an estate that is enriched with flavor and character. We plead that the security, cleanliness, peace and tranquility of the settled estate like Magodo Phase 2 is not destroyed. As this exactly is what will definitely happen if the access roads to the wetlands are taken through Magodo Phase 2. And we've identified, after doing our security audit, to identify areas that are porous to theft cases, migrations of unwanted visitors. Next slide, please. This should be a video, I guess. Should be a video now. You can see the volume of water into the wetland. On the right side of this place is the Adetuadelaga Strait. This side is Bashimshitu. So when it rains heavily, this is what you can see. And it shows that to have an access to the wetland through this medium, there's going to be a devastating of properties, in terms of foundation, in terms of destructions, and also in terms of environment. Next slide. This should be a video too. Thank you. This is Bashimshitu Street. And you keep wondering if it's a mini swimming pool. And this is exactly what happened when it rains. Because the wetlands have been compromised. There are some structures that we notice on the wetland. And also, the drainage points have been distorted. So what you have here on Bashimshitu when it rains is heavy flow. That you don't have a good tonnage of air, it will sweep you off. Next slide. This was captured on the 19th of September this year when it rained. This is Otedala Bridge. From the report I presented, the wetland stretches from what we can see around us, from Otedala Bridge to Activites, my 12. You can see the volume of flood and flash flood we have here. So this is what happens when we have access to the wetland through Magodo Phase 2. As it is now, this is what you can see. You can imagine the volume of activities that you will see here.
I'm the chairman of the Board of Trustees, MRABOT. And we've called this press conference to draw attention to the serious challenges we are facing by the threatened development of the wetlands. The wetlands, it's right at corridor, and it's a natural system for the preservation of the environment. And if wetland is tampered with, it would actually be a disaster. Already we are seeing even some of the effects in the estate. We are having buildings in which some of the foundation have been washed away by floods. So we're already seeing some of the effects by some of the development that's currently going on. And if further development is encouraged or allowed, it will be a total disaster to our estate. So that's the whole essence of calling this, to call on the governor to actually maintain the promise that he gave to us that there shall be no development in the wetlands. And being a gentleman, we believe and trust that will keep his word. So that is the essence of this press conference.
The law and the authority that permits anybody to build on the wetland, and that as long as it remains a commissioner, it won't allow it to happen. So we have a commissioner for environment who is trying to protect the environment, while the commissioner for physical planning in the same government is trying to ruin what the government and its other colleagues are doing. So
my name is James Boro. I just want to make a very short comment regarding this wetland. We've been going forth and back. I remember vividly when His Excellency Sanwo-Olu came for his first tenure campaign to Magodo. I sat very next to him. He made a promise. He's very intelligent. He looked around the estate. He did make mention of premium power, made mention of service providers and all that. He made a promise that that wetland will never be distorted as long as he remains governor. He made that promise. And then recently, in the second term, again, when he came in week before the election, March, for campaign, March this year, he also repeated the same thing to protect that wetland.
My name is Joseph Olofishola. I think Jane and the chairman were big, he said the chairman was polite. I think it was more polite. I think for me, really, I'll start by saying it's extremely absurd. When I see a country in one breath who said, Lagos, for example, to be a model city. I would say model city where a natural preservation is being developed as residential. That company is totally unacceptable. But let me paint some vivid pictures because of where I stay. In a particular instance, we have not seen terrestrial rains. We only see some rains. In a particular instance, right, we have 2 houses being vacated by the owners. The ground floor had been taken over by water. In one instance, they found a snake in the house. Right? Remember, Chairman, some weeks back, in a particular house, they couldn't come out of their houses, I'm saying house water, because water had taken over the entire space. Now, we haven't seen anything. So the reality is that we cannot continue to say one breath, we're talking about the model city, and we're doing something that's contrary. And like I said clearly, at least I've interfaced with the government once or twice. And I recall one of the statements he made, one of the conversations we had. He said, whatever I'm going to do in Lagos State, I will not joke with things that I know will destroy Lagos State. And this is one of them.
I was commissioner under current president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, and also commissioner under Fashola. I will talk about this issue on 2 bases. 2 bases in the fact that when there is a rainfall from Bega, from Acme, from Ikeja, down to Omo-Onile, if you stand below Omo-Onile Bridge, you will see the fog coming down towards this level. It comes down to the wetland. And when you are going on CMP Road, at the sharp bend, if you look down, you will see that it's almost about 30-40 meters down. It's a major collector of all waters within this environment. It goes along that path, right through to Activities, right through to join the lagoons, the series of lagoons. So when they release water at the various points, it comes in onto that to also absorb it. So going to develop that, you're already destroying an environment and you're also causing trouble. Because those who have attempted to build properties there, they had a sheer failure. That the foundation went one way, the top of the building went another way because of the nature of the soil. The geomorphology of that place is not conducive to what they want to do. That is number 1. Number 2, in the course of our interaction, we had looked severally at the master plan prepared by Lagos State, by their consultant. We had debated with them, and each time we had won. It's not only me as a past commissioner, there are 3 commissioners of physical planning that lives on this estate. So when it comes to discussing planning, 3 of us come together and we face those in government. If we have a superior argument, we win. Each time we have superior argument and we won. Now, agility is not in any way near Magodo phase 2.
What is playing out at the wetland is pure greed. Let us say the way it is. We have a lot of people over the years, like 40 years ago, have invested our money, our energy, our industry into Magodo. We single-handedly built Magodo into what it is. Suddenly, land speculators within Lagos State government and without colluded with the so-called Omo-Onile, and suddenly they want to enter the wetland through Magodo. To do what? To sell land. Not to develop it. They don't want to sell and move out. And what do we have? We have chaos. Whatever Lagos government have planned, like they want to link, like the commissioner just said, they want to link Activites to Omo-Onile bridge. Yes, nobody can stop them. Even the governor, when he came here, or when we went to Mr. Jami, when we went to the governor during the Identical case, the governor quotes me, my name is Magodo, Governor Sanwo-Olu said, whatever happens, nobody, he will never allow anybody to have an inroad to the wetland through Magodo. So they created a canal bank road. It's there in their plans. There's a canal bank road that's supposed to run all through to Activites. And they didn't do it. Why? Wetland. It's not easy to develop. So the Omo-Onile, they just want to come in, sell the land, and pass through Magodo.
My name is Fayo Williams, and I am the zonal coordinator of PSSDC Wale Time Zone. Today, I would like to look at this situation from the point of what is good governance. So if good governance means preserving the environment, the nation, the land, and if good governance means looking after the people and ensuring that lives and properties are protected, if good governance means giving people a non-traumatic experience so that they can enjoy peaceful habitation, then what Magodo Residents Association is asking for today is in line with good governance. And we should do everything possible to send this message to Governor Sanwo-Olu to save our souls, save the women, the children, the elderly, the vulnerable, as well as the citizens of Lagos State who live in Magodo and who would not want any kind of ingress into the estate and providing an outlet into agility or the wetland or whatever through our estate.
The impact of the environment is very, very important. 2 days ago, I was on air on this same issue. When you look at the topography of that environment, naturally it has defined itself and it is being called in wetland. I want to resonate with former Commissioner Bosedi. If you look at this whole environment, that is where the water channels to. And like I said 2 days ago, green is equally important for health.
My name is Kenny Omo-Onile. I was the former environmental secretary and also second vice chairman, former. And by virtue of my position, I have been involved in this situation over the years. And also the victim whose house was distorted last year. So I have a very good knowledge of what is going on. And also by virtue of where my house is, I see what is going on in the wetlands. My house is the last house in the wetlands. That area is very vast. Lots of plots of land, I think about 1,000 to 2,000 plots there. And if they pass through Magodo, they use Magodo as their entrance into the wetlands, it's going to spoil the whole of Magodo estate. You can imagine the the number of trailers, trucks, tankers, cement carriers that will be plying Magodo roads to enter the wetlands. Also the artisans, the bricklayers, you know, Magodo is going to be finished completely. So I want to use this opportunity to appeal to the governor of Lagos State, Governor Sanwo-Olu, who had promised us in the past that nothing will happen in the wetlands.
The rules and regulations, if you ask me, if I'm correct, what we need to do to secure this place, right? We erected a wall here, and the wall that was erected was demolished under the directive of the Physical Planning and Urban Development. On the 1st of November, they brought in armed policemen. I can share the video with you. They brought in Omo-Onile. They brought in Tots and the rest of them. But because we are law-abiding citizens of this country and the state, we decided to go through this route to explain to Lagos State Governor who had promised us in many events, in many meetings, that no access to wetlands.
And the remote course pay. And what do? We erected a concrete wall here, behind me. When the concrete wall was erected, as a law-abiding citizen of the state and the country, we communicated officially to the Physical Planning that following our letter in 2022, that we're going to erect an embankment. That embankment and the meeting we held with you on the 10th of October, please be informed that the wall had been erected. We sent in letters and pictures to substantiate what we've done. But unfortunately, on the 1st of November, before 11 a.m., we saw armed policemen, fully kitted. We saw Omo-Onile. We saw others that we don't even know their faces coming to the estate to demolish this wall. Immediately after demolition, they erected their home gate in the government residential area. Where is it done? So, and Mr. Governor had promised that there will be no access to the wetland through Magodo. Not once he had made this promise, not even twice. And we believe Mr. Governor's promises. We believe he's a man of honor. We believe he's a man of integrity. He won't say what he won't fulfill.
Point to the gates
So,
and the fence they just erected.
the fence that was demolished, we couldn't find it here. But unfortunately, Omo-Onile came to erect their gate. This is high level of injustice in a government residential area. You can imagine what would have ensued if only we have also reacted to this. So, and our approach is very systematic. And that's why we're involving the press to know the kind of treatment being meted on Magodo Phase 2 residents. And impunity to our right. In fact, you see, the fact still remains that the access to this place is a threat on our own security, an environmental threat. We showed a video of a landslide, and that is happening along the corridor of those houses. We've shown you the flood that we experience when it rains. It's a blockage of some of the outputs of the flood waters. So,
These two houses are threatened.
what are we talking about? We cannot have our eyes closed again peacefully because of this gate that is here. And we pleaded to Mr. Governor to please allow us to erect our wall back. And that is what we are pleading also. To also not to allow access to the wetland as he has promised in many engagements we had with him. Magodo people are peace-loving people. We formed a culture of character, a culture of orderliness, and this has gone over 3 decades. And having said that, we see no reason why the developers, conniving with the Lagos State Government Physical Planning and Omo-Onile, to distort our environment.
Why we are calling for Mr. Governor's intervention is the fact that we have a commissioner for physical planning, Dr. Olumide Oluyinka, who is supporting the Omo-Onile, who backed them to pull down the structure. A week later, the commissioner for environment came here and he said no to any building on wetland. So we have conflicting signals from two commissioners of the same government. So we want Mr. Governor, who is also a surveyor, who understands this terrain. He has visited Magodo. He promised us in Magodo that he won't allow anything untoward to happen. We want him to intervene and call his commissioners to order, because we can see that there are selfish interests involved. The Commissioner for Fiscal Planning is backing Omo-Onile against an estate of 16,000 people, while the Commissioner for Environment, Dr. Tokunbo Wahab, is upright, is saying he's protecting the environment, and he's saying he was here on Sunday and he did a video where he said there will be no construction on the wetland because of its hazard. So we want the governor, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, who we know is upright, is true to his words, to come to our rescue and give a clear directive on who we are to obey between the Commissioner for Fiscal Planning and the Commissioner for Environment. I think that summarizes it all.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel Goldmyne TV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.